Wisser.
Here.
Fink. Sorry, Communications Chair Fink.
Here.
Finance Chair Peterson.
Here.
Government Affairs Chair Kennedy.
Here.
Chief of Staff Sabo. Here. Vice President Bentz.
Here.
President Peterson.
Here.
AFA. AISA.
Here.
GSA.
Here.
LASA.
Here.
Unified Council.
Here.
Unified Council.
Here.
UPC.
Here.
Advisor Schmidt.
Here.
Madam President, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Moving on to adoption of the agenda. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda tonight? Government Affairs Chair Kennedy.
Waive the first reading of Resolution 24-6R.
Second.
All right. It has been moved and seconded that we waive the first reading of Resolution 24-6-R. All those in favor of waiving the first reading, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? First reading has been waived. Any other additions or corrections to the agenda tonight? Seeing none, can I entertain a motion to approve? Senator Barnett?
Second.
All those in favor of adopting the agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The agenda is adopted. Moving on to approval of the minutes. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes tonight? Seeing none, can I entertain a motion to approve? Senator Daggett? Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of approving the minutes, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The minutes are approved. All right, we have a hefty open forum list tonight, so we will begin with item A, and we will welcome up the President/CEO of the Brookings Area Chamber of Commerce, Kelsey Doom.
Okay, thank you all. Is this good with the mic? Okay, perfect. Thank you all for having me. This is great to be with you. Thank you for being here and being so involved in your campus and your student government. This is fantastic. Us in the community really admire the Students Association and all you guys do. So kudos on everything you've accomplished and the things that you're working on. So I'm here to talk a little bit about IM28, Initiated Measure 28. I am no means an expert on this. But we have studied it quite thoroughly at the Chamber, and our board did vote to oppose this back in, I believe, late August of 2024. So since the beginning, we've been in opposition to the bill. IM28, for those of you that might not have the general idea of it, it's a bill to remove taxes on anything made for human consumption. And so what that would be is a 4.2% state tax and the 2% municipal tax. I think the couple things that go along with this, consumables do not include alcohol and they do not include prepared food. And as I speak, I'm gonna maybe go into some of the nuances of the bill that we found were a little bit confusing and why we voted to oppose. So, for example, the prepared food, if you were to go to Hy-Vee and buy rotisserie chicken, let's say this bill were to pass, and you were to buy a rotisserie chicken, the rotisserie chicken would not be taxed. Let's say they didn't sell the rotisserie chicken within the allotted time, I think it's a couple hours, and they chopped it up and put it on a salad and put it in the cooler. It would then be taxed. Let's say they were to, let's say they put it in a little container in the cooler, took it back out and made a chicken salad sandwich with it and put it in the other cooler, that's over by the Chinese food, it would then not be taxed anymore. So it's just the bill is very vague. All over the place, and it's not very clear, okay? So another big thing that we found was the Municipal League did a study and the Legislative Research Council did a study and found that within human consumption, tobacco would be included. So tobacco would no longer be taxed, which is a huge portion of what sales tax is in our state, because tobacco is defined as any item made from tobacco for human consumption. Same goes for e-cigarettes. Couple other items here. So the Legislative Research Council had done the study that said at a minimum, if IM28 passes, we will see a $123.9 million cut in our income. That's the bare minimum. At a maximum, we would see over $635 million. And that's, to me, it's a little bit of a reach if you were to think of everything that they say is consumable. They include toilet paper, they include some services, things like that. To be on the safe end, I would say we would see a $300 million decrease in our state sales tax. Where this comes into play for you all is we would have to make up those taxes somehow, right? Really, you've got the big three: education, healthcare, and what's the third one? There's a third one, and I can't remember it right now. Education, healthcare. Dang it, I'm blanking it. Anywho, education would see a hit. Our healthcare would see a hit. We've got to make up for it somehow. When we think about the people this bill was intended to help are lower to middle class. The problem with that is if this passes, like I said, healthcare, education are going to be impacted. Social services, that's the third one that I was thinking of. That's the group that this bill is intended to help. If it passes, it would retroactively, it's going to hurt those people because our education, healthcare, and social services are going to be increased, right? Could they fix this bill in session? Yes, they could. But the problem with that, if any of you have been through session and know, they have to figure out the intent of the bill, which is very difficult because it is so vague. Another argument that is pro IM28 is that we're one of the only states that has a grocery tax. I think there's maybe 2 others, and I believe Mississippi is going to take away their sales or their grocery sales tax this year. But on the flip side of that, we're one of the only states that doesn't have an income tax. Now, would an income tax be passed if IM28 goes through? I highly doubt it. I don't think this state will ever pass an income tax. But that is what the opposition does say. Another argument goes back to the governor's bill. I believe it was 2 years ago when they dropped the sales tax rate from 4.5 to 4.2, and we're currently at a 4.2% rate. They argue and say this is the same thing. This is intending to do the same thing, and that Governor Noem is on board with this. That's not true. The bill that they put through, the bill was specifically naming out food and food ingredients, and there's a definition for that, as opposed to IM28. Another thing is the state put the rate at 0. They didn't say that the state can't tax. So that changed it because at any time, the legislature could increase the tax from 0. Does that make sense? The other big opposition to this is the municipality's ability to tax. So right now, the bill states that the state would not be able to tax, but it clearly says in the bill and in the Attorney General's definition of it that municipalities still would be able to tax. If you talk to any of our local legislators and dig really deep, I'm not one of those that can dig really deep and understand all of that without a law degree, but looking at that, there's just so much in conflict. Senator Tim Reed, I spoke to him this morning. He said there's just so much there that it just doesn't make sense. The laws are in conflict, and so the fact that it says municipalities can tax, once it goes through legislature, there's going to be a big problem because there's going to be a conflict of those laws that are already set up. Did I explain that okay? So yeah, there's a lot to this bill. End of the day, the chamber voted to, along with I believe over 60 other organizations across the state, have voted to oppose this bill, mainly because of the vagueness of the bill and unintended consequences. It's not that we don't want to help lower income families and take taxes away. One of the bill sponsors, Rick Weiland, one of his big arguments is it would help SDSU students. But like I said, the people that it's intending to help is going to hurt later on when things like education are cut, and they're not going to cut the meat and potatoes of a university. They're going to cut the extracurriculars. They're going to cut the things that want you to be a jackrabbit, right? So in conclusion, the chamber opposes it. I would urge the Students Association to oppose it, and I would urge you all to get out and vote on November 5th. Vote no. And with that, I will take questions. I am open, like I said, I'm not a pro, but I would love to hear questions and thoughts on this topic.
Any questions for Kelsey? Great. Thank you so much, Kelsey, for joining us. Thank you again for joining us, Kelsey. We appreciate your thoughts on this. And yeah, as you all know, we did waive the first reading and we'll be voting on our resolution to take a stance on this initiated measure later tonight. We'll move on down to open forum item B with some student organization constitutions. And first, we'll welcome up the Miss SDSU Club.
Good evening, everyone. It's lovely to be here. My name is Megan Rezach. I became Miss SDSU in February of this year, and I am here on behalf of the Miss SDSU organization. We are a part of the Miss South Dakota organization, which provides scholarships to college-age students and helps us to create a platform to not only empower ourselves, but advocate for community service initiatives that we hold strongly. We are seeking to create a club that will help create more outreach for our specific organization, where we are able to reach specifically SDSU students and help them while they are seeking their own local titles.
Any questions? Oh, you have one? No, Senator Daggett.
Are there other institutions or schools with a club like this?
Yes, I don't know if they have clubs, but we do have other organizations that we work with, like the Miss USD. There's a Miss USD scholarship competition. The Siouxland organization, which I currently hold a title with, is through University of Sioux Falls. That's where they host theirs. I am not aware, however, if either of those have a specific Miss SDSU, Miss USD, or their specific organization club.
Can you expand a little bit more about what you mean by college-age individuals for those scholarships?
Absolutely. So all of our scholarships, for the most part, are currently towards tuition. They do not go towards paying off student loans. They do not go towards other areas. We are branching off a bit more. The Miss America organization is. Their rules fall down onto us, and so they are transitioning some into cash prizes, but it is targeted towards individuals attending college. For the Miss division of the organization, it is between the age of 18 and 28, but you must be younger than 28 competing at the state level or competition. We not only help with college, but also with like trade schools, cosmetology schools, and all those kinds of things to help people take off some of that financial burden.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, can I entertain a motion to approve this constitution? Senator now Markley. Is there, all right, Senator Markley, first right to debate.
Yes, I actually am very familiar with especially USD's many participants in chapters and clubs like this, and even under the Miss America title. And I know a few people around SDSU too, like Sydney Morgan, who's been part of Miss SDSU and Miss South Dakota. And I think this is just a good way to further push good opportunities, especially for a lot of women here in South Dakota. And I think that this is also a good way outside of, let's say, sororities, to also create a environment for sisterhood, as I know that Miss America and Miss SDSU really drive on that. So I encourage you to vote yes on this constitution.
Is there any other discussion? All right, seeing none, we'll take this constitution to a roll call vote. Chief of Staff Sabo, would you please call the roll?
Senators Barnett.
Aye.
Brink. Daggett.
Aye.
Derek Humford abstains. Dooley.
Aye.
Garcia.
Aye.
Gibney.
Here.
Hofer abstains. Jensen.
Aye.
Campson. Peterson.
Aye.
Pulse.
Aye.
Robbins.
Aye.
Shell.
Aye.
Schmeck.
Aye.
Sierra. Spear.
Aye.
Sternhagen.
Aye.
Tennant.
Aye.
Vasquez.
Aye.
Wessler.
Aye.
Wisser.
Aye.
Communications Chair Fink.
Aye.
Finance Chair Peterson.
Aye.
Government Affairs Chair Kennedy.
Aye.
Chief of Staff Sabo, aye. Vice President Benz.
The ayes have it, and the Miss SDSU Club Constitution is approved. Move on to open forum. Still under item B, we will welcome up the Music Entrepreneurship Club.
Hello, good evening, and thank you for your time. My name is Jesse Dodd. I'm the president of the hopefully soon-to-be reactivated Music Entrepreneurship Club, and this is our president, Mr. Isaac McFarland, vice president, excuse me. So when people think of music, a lot of people think of the performance side of music first, but as we all know, there is so much more to the music business and the music industry as a whole. So what Music Entrepreneurship Club is about is for students to come and explore different career opportunities and really just learn about the different parts of the music business, specifically the entrepreneurial side. So we have like marketing, advertising, sound design, sound work, sound recording, really just a lot of other stuff which makes the music industry pretty fantastic, and that's a really cool part of our club.
Yes, sir. So another thing we do is present opportunities for a lot of people that are in the club, and some things that we've done. Jesse actually attended a conference down in was it Anaheim, California? Yeah, and it was called NAMM, and there was a bunch of music people there. I didn't go, but it looked really cool, and a lot of opportunities to talk to people and meet them and make connections, which is a big thing that we do, and we want other people to do and teach them to do, make connections that are in the club. And a couple other things we've had happen are also we were able to get a Zoom call with a producer. His name was Sammy Haig, and he's worked with a couple of big names in the music industry. I think he was on a track with Gunna and a couple other people, but he's a pretty big deal, and he got to talk to us about kind of what he did, and that was a really cool opportunity to talk to him and ask questions about what he kind of does. And another thing is I kind of talked about what I do as the vice president. I do my own shows and make my own music, so I was able to kind of teach people what I do and how to, go ask for gigs and make connections with people, and kind of how to present yourself as the business, because as a musician, you are the business and you have to sell yourself. So bottom line, that's pretty much kind of what we do. Like Jesse said, we just basically, a lot of it's teaching and being able to tell people what to do, teach them how to become a good music entrepreneurship person. So, yeah.
Do you have any questions for music entrepreneurship?
So how did it feel to win Jack's Got Talent?
Good.
Any other questions? Thank you all so much for joining us. May I entertain a motion to approve this constitution? Senator Spear. Is there a second? All right, Senator Spear, first right to debate.
President Peterson and I sit on the organizational subcommittee that kind of looks over these constitutions. The Music Entrepreneurship Club was super thorough with their constitution. They are obviously really passionate about what they do, and it was really fun just to kind of talk to them. And they took the advice that we gave them really well, so I encourage you to approve this constitution.
Any further discussion? All right, seeing none, we'll take this constitution to a roll call vote. Chief of Staff Sabo, would you please call the roll?
Senators Barnett.
Aye.
Brink.
Aye.
Daggett.
Aye.
Derek Humford abstains. Dooley.
Aye.
Garcia.
Aye.
Gibney.
Aye.
Hofer abstains. Jensen.
Aye.
Campson.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
Pulse. Robbins.
Aye.
Shell.
Aye.
Schmeck.
Aye.
Sierra.
Aye.
Spear. Sternhagen.
Aye.
Tennant.
Aye.
Vasquez.
Aye.
Wessler. Wisser.
Aye.
Communications Chair Fink.
Aye.
Finance Chair Peterson.
Aye.
Government Affairs Chair Kennedy. Chief of Staff Sabo, aye. Vice President Benz.
Aye.
The ayes have it, and the Music Entrepreneurship Club Constitution is approved. Move down to our final student organization constitution of the night, and we will welcome up members of the Meet Science Club.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Charlie Peterson. I'm a senior. For the Meat Science Club, we would like to start our club to focus in on students who are involved with the meat science industry, students who come from an agriculture background and want to further their careers in the meat science industry, as well as get involved and network with each other and advance professional development. We are all very active within the meat science department here on campus, and we would like to further encourage that as well.
So some of this further, involvement would include opportunities to go to the Reciprocal Meat Conference or RMC, getting involved more with the meat judging team, and overall throughout the department.
So a lot of things within the meat science area within animal science is a lot of research. We have something called Quiz Bowl for undergraduate students to compete against about 45 different universities at Reciprocal Meat Conference, which is a rotating conference every year. This past year it was in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. This upcoming year it's in, I believe, Columbus, Ohio. And then after that it's in Texas somewhere. But it's traveling constantly, and you're meeting multiple professionals within the meat science industry. And for instance, I'm an undergrad, and without meat science, I wouldn't be pursuing further research. So I'm doing a research project on different lean to fat ratios of ground products between beef and pork, and the difference in cookery methods from raw versus cooked, and getting the different makeups of fat, water, protein, and ash, and all those different areas within that. So this club is just another way to drive students within SDSU, animal science, or even further outside of animal science and ag science, into what truly is meat science. What are the products we're eating within the meat lab? We have a lot of different opportunities. For instance, we have PhD students working on fetal programming with carcass data that's going to impact the beef industry a lot. We have a lot of pork research studies coming through here in poultry. So we are actually one of the leading universities within meat science, and we're one of the few with color dynamics and availability through that. And I think that we have a lot to offer within our program and within the graduate students, the industry connections we have. Jack Links is a South Dakota company, and we have very close ties to them and can get tours of their facility in Smithfield down to Sioux Falls. So I think it's a great way for students to see where our food comes from, how it's made, what's going on, and the science behind that of making it safe and wholesome.
So the Meat Science Club would also help students become more involved in the meat lab. The meat lab also offers jobs to students. I have a job at the meat lab at the moment. So this would allow students to learn how to harvest animals, livestock, fabricate and process. And this would be like beef, pork, and lamb. You'd also learn how to learn more about like SSOPs, GMPs, asset plans, and just also connect a lot with the animal science professors and the manager of the meat science lab.
You guys have any questions for us?
Any questions for the Meat Science Club?
This is more of a comment. I had no idea Jack Links was a South Dakota company.
Very interesting to know. Other questions? Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you for your time.
Can I entertain a motion to approve this constitution? Communications Chair Fink.
Yeah, so so moved. Oh,
Is there a second? There is a second. It's okay. Communications Chair Fink, you now have first right to debate.
Okay, so as many of you are aware, agriculture is a huge part of our campus, and beyond that, it's a huge industry within our state and within our nation. And a very big facet of agriculture is meat science. And so SDSU really works to get kids involved in the meat department and throughout the meat science profession. So I believe the Meat Science Club would be a great opportunity for any individual interested in meat science to gain more experience and create connections within the meat industry.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we will take this constitution to a roll call vote. Chief of Staff Sabo, would you please call the roll?
Senators Barnett,
Aye.
Brink,
Aye.
Daggett,
Aye. Derek Humford abstains. Dooley. Garcia.
Aye.
Gibney.
Aye.
Hofer abstains. Jensen.
Aye.
Campson.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
Pulse.
Aye.
Robbins.
Aye.
Shell.
Aye.
Schmeck.
Aye.
Sierra.
Aye.
Spear. Sternhagen.
Aye.
Tennant.
Aye.
Vasquez.
Aye.
Wessler. Wisser.
Aye.
Communications Chair Fink.
Aye.
Finance Chair Peterson. Government Affairs Chair Kennedy. Chief of Staff Sabo. Aye. Vice President Benz.
Aye.
The ayes have it, and the Meat Science Club Constitution is approved. We will move on to open forum, item C, and we'll have some student organization reports from student organizations on our general budget, and we will welcome up the Hobo Day Committee.
Hello, everyone. How are we doing today?
Woo!
Wonderful. Thank you. Wow. Excited crowd. So yeah, I'm Vic. I'm the Grand Poobah of the 2024 Hobo Day. Can I get a show of hands? How many of you attended at least one Hobo Day event this year? Yeah, very good. Very good. Glad to see it. Thank you all for your continued support. We really appreciate it. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to give a little rundown on, all of our numbers from this past Hobo Week. Overall, we saw an increase in a lot of our numbers, so that was really cool. Let's see. I guess our very first event that we had was back in the spring. Sign up for it. So 6-month club, if you're familiar. You stop shaving for 6 months. It's pretty fun. And we had 3 participants this year, so that was pretty cool. They were all girls, and I applaud them. They held out. They were really strong. One of them even dyed her hair blue for the cause. So with mascara, but it was really cool to see all of that. And then for 1 month club, where you don't shave for the 1 month leading up to Hobo Day, we had 27 participants. That was also really cool. Let's see. Then for Bum-A-Meal, how many of you participated in Bum-A-Meal? Wonderful, yes. It's definitely a favorite amongst the students. We had 61 different homes around Brookings able to host students. That was really cool. So that meant we were able to host a little over 750 students. Pretty cool. And that was the Monday of Hobo Week. So then the Tuesday of Hobo Week, we had Bum Over. I know Students Association did pretty well with their creation. What was your guys' award? Most Hobo Spirit. Yes, that's what it was. So yeah, they won buttons for that, and we had about 20 teams participate. So that was definitely impressive. We even added a twist to Bum Over this year, and we had minute to win it type games that you could compete in. And so I think that really helped bring teams in and keep everyone, excited about the events. That was fun. And then the Wednesday of Hobo Week was Rally at the Rails. Beautiful day for Rally at the Rails. It was our one event that didn't take place on campus, so it was downtown, just on the street. We had live music from the Matt Yager Band. We had some food trucks. We had cornhole, just a bunch of different carnival-style games. And we think we had anywhere from 700 to 800 students and community members attending that. So that is pretty cool as well. And then Bumfire on the Thursday of Hobo Week. Sadly, had to hold it indoors. No, we did not have a fire indoors, but we did have to have it inside due to the burn ban in Brookings County. Didn't want us, setting a giant bonfire in the one grassy area on campus. So yeah, that was still fun. We had the Dirty Boot Band play. They were pretty good. We also had a merch giveaway to kind of keep people there, and a cornhole tournament. So that was all really fun. Let's see. Did you guys participate in Paint the Town? I know. Yes. Yeah. So for Paint the Town, there was about 40 businesses that signed up for that, and we had about 38, 39 student organizations sign up. So that was really cool. We also had State-a-thon clean those windows for us as a little service project for them. So that was also a really fun thing to do. We had 22 members of the Bum Band. awesome. I know to my left over here, there's a bum band member. Did you enjoy it, Hayden?
I really did, yes.
Good. Would you recommend it to a friend or family?
Absolutely.
Good. Wonderful. Okay, so
Sing Dirty Well.
yes, Dirty Little is a favorite amongst that. What about Far Across the Plains?
Well, that one's.
That's my personal favorite. Yeah, what else? Then for our beloved parade, how many of you watched the parade or were in it? I assume more were in it than watched it. Awesome. Yeah, so we think there was an increase in attendance for that, watching the parade, between 35 and 40,000 people watching, so that was pretty cool. We also had a live stream. Not sure how many people were watching that, but always a good time. I know I got a lot of texts of like family members watching it back home. And then as for things going on in that parade, we had 6 high school bands present, right, Claire? Yeah. I was pretty sure it was 6. I forgot to write it down. And then we had 30 community entries. We had a total of a little over 50 student entries, and 33 of them were participants in the Fantastic Floats grant program, where we give money to different organizations so they can, build a really good float. And the floats, I thought they were phenomenal this year. So I thought there were some really good quality ones. What else? Oh yeah, volunteers. We had a lot of volunteers, I thought. Very good. Yeah, more than 50 of them. It was great. They were great. That is all I have, I believe. Any questions? Those were my notes. Any questions?
What was your favorite part of Hobo Week?
At the beginning of the week, people were asking that, and I said the end of the parade, which was really fun as well. But I don't know, I was really excited to see like Bum Over really take off, and all the students get involved with that, because I feel like historically it's one that maybe people don't necessarily think about when they think of like all the Hobo Day activities. They think of like Bum a Meal and Rally at the Rails and the parade. And so to see people get really excited about Bum Over and make some really cool creations, I thought that was awesome.
Of the funding you receive from the general activity fee and allocated by the Students Association, is there a certain area within the Hobo Day budget that goes towards, or is that just kind of go into the big pot of money that you guys spend for Hobo Week?
Yeah, so I guess all of our GAF funds that we received mostly went towards like helping plan all those different events, as well as a little bit of marketing for those events. But what? It went towards events in general. So yes, that is all.
Other questions? Thank you so much for joining us. Also, can we hear it? Because, yes, our SA team did win a prize at Bum Over out of 20 teams. Yeah, if you want to see pictures of the Hobo Dream House, go to the Instagram. The team worked hard on it. I was quite proud. All right, we'll welcome up our next student organization report, Hero, helping everyone reach optimal health.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. My name is Jada Paul. I'm the Vice President of HERO, which obviously stands for Helping Everyone Reach Optimal Health. We are a student organization associated with the Wellness Center, trying to promote all aspects of health and wellness around campus and in the Brookings community. With our 2 main committees, we focus on physical health, mental health, alcohol and drug awareness, and sexual health, just trying to promote healthy lifestyles for students around campus. As for activities that we do, at the beginning of the year, we hosted our Welcome Back Dance, just trying to get more students involved on campus and help them kind of meet new people, welcome them to SDSU. Then we hosted a yoga at McCrory Gardens last Tuesday, a sunset yoga that was really fun, just kind of relaxing through midterms after Hobo Week. Next week, we plan on doing a self-defense class. We are encouraging students to register for that. because there is limited space, but we're just trying to help students kind of prepare themselves on how to take care of themselves and if a situation would arise. And then one of our other big events that's coming up at the end of the semester is our De-Stress Fest. Dead day, finals week, it can be really stressful, and so we try to help put on activities that can really alleviate some of that stress in students' lives.
And then as for our budget, we received $800 from the Students Association allocation, and that went towards the Welcome Back dance. We had over 300 people in attendance, and so it was a really popular dance. From what the DJ said, compared to last year, it was our highest attended dance that we've had so far. So students were really engaged and they danced all night.
Any questions for Hero? Thank you all so much for coming.
Thank you.
Moving on to open forum item D, public comments. Are there any members of the public that wish to address the Senate tonight? Seeing none, we'll move on to committee and staff reports. We'll start off with my own. I'll keep it short. The executive team did travel up north this weekend to watch us, unfortunately, not bring back the Dakota marker, so that's all I'll say on that. We do have an update. We do have Aunt Flo products in the Wellness Center bathroom in the main one, so that's very exciting. Yes. Thank you. Yes, we got that confirmation this morning. And then Vice President Benson and I are meeting with President Dunn on Wednesday, so if you have anything for that meeting, please let us know. End of report, Vice President Benz.
Thank you, Madam President. The voter registration deadline was today, October 21st, so I hope that all of you in this room are registered to vote for the upcoming general election on November 5th. In total, the Students Association registered 28 individuals to vote or either change their voter registration to Brookings County, which we were very excited about and had great response from the student body. Whether or not that was out tabling, thank you to all of the senators that tabled during these past couple of weeks, and special big thank you to Senator Shemek and Senator Tennant. They were there every single day for all of the time slots that were available to table for. So big thank you to both of them for really stepping up. And I couldn't be happier with the turnout that we got. And then also people coming into our office as well to register to vote. I think that was really good exposure for us as student government as well, just to kind of inform the student body of who we are and that we're not so scary in that big class office in the union. And then the other item I had for you all is just to make sure that you are attending your committee meetings. If you have not gotten any invitations to your committee meetings and they have not yet met, please let me know. And I will make sure that you are on the correct email list and that just confirm they have not met. And then I'll maybe prod them a little bit to make sure they meet them too. End of report.
Thank you. Chief of Staff Sabo.
Yeah, so I am about to start working with UPD to see if we can replace our blue light boxes to have some that have cameras on them. Right now they just work through radio frequencies, so you can only hear, but we want to get some that have cameras on them to help with people either not pressing the buttons for legitimate reasons, and also just having like eyes on the person that's pressing the button. I'll also be contacting you, some of you guys, to be in some social media as long as you guys are fine with that. So be looking out for that from me. And then lastly, you will receive an email from me if I notice that you haven't been doing office hours. Just want to make sure that everybody's doing those. End of report.
Thank you. Finance Chair Peterson.
We had a finance committee meeting a week, and we approved a special allocation request. So if you'll notice, that's on the agenda tonight, and that will also be voted on tonight. That's only on the agenda for 1 week. And then this week on Wednesday at 7 p.m., we will have another finance committee meeting, and we will hear a GAF breakdown from athletics.
Thank you. Government Affairs Chair Kennedy.
I will be meeting with the Mayor of Brookings, Mayor Niemeyer, tomorrow. So if you guys have anything you'd like me to bring up, concerns with the city, let me know before tomorrow afternoon. And then additionally, Vice President Benson and I have a Student Federation meeting on Thursday.
Thank you. Communications Chair Fink.
Yeah, so it's pretty well just been the driver reports, website updates, and then I've been working with 605 Customs for some apparel. So that website will hopefully be live either tomorrow or this week sometime for sure. So yeah, and Senate Communications Committee meeting tomorrow.
Thank you. We'll move on to ex officio reports, beginning with AFA.
AFA had a pretty good showing at the Hobo Day Parade. Recently, we started working on some planning for the Warrior Week events that run the week leading up to Veterans Day. Right now, we're looking at doing a weightlifting competition, a movie night, and previously we've done dog petting, which has always been pretty popular, so hoping to get to do that again and to report.
Thank you. ASA.
No report.
Thank you. GSA.
All right, Hobo Day went pretty well. We had a nice float. I didn't get to see it in person because I was in the Pride of Dakotas, but from what I heard, we did have a nice balloon arch. I don't know if anyone else saw it, but it looked really pretty in the pictures. It went really smoothly. We ran out of candy kind of quickly though, so learned how to plan around that. We did meet with the pastor of the Lutheran Center, basically right before Hobo Week, Pastor Cassandra, basically saying if you would like to help, if you would like to cooperate on some meetings in the future, that is open. So we are planning on doing some collaborative meetings, possibly a Q&A like we've done with NABS in the past, or maybe just going over to the Lutheran Center and having like a board game night or a nice cookout, or maybe even baking competitions. We still throwing ideas out. And for those of you who are on the email list, we did have to cancel the movie night just because we were all too busy and no one could be there to enjoy it. So we're planning on doing the clothing drive here soon, the toy drive with the rest of the OMAA in the future. And of course, the drag show's coming up October 29th in the Volstor Ballroom. In preparation for that, we have tossed around the idea of meeting with Government Affairs Chair, just in preparation, because we did this last year because we don't want backlash from previous years. So we just like to plan it out in advance. So if I could talk to you after the meeting, that would be great. And that's my end of the long report. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Lassa.
We also had our Hobo Day Parade. It was fun. And we had our weekly meeting where we had our first member of the week. And it was me. And I get to do that.
Thank you. Unified Council.
We have officially set Greek Week for this upcoming year, April 7th through the 11th.
ACD will be having Z Games cornhole tournament tomorrow evening. Teams of 2 with a $15 registration fee. Anyone is welcome. AOE will have animals from the Humane Society in the stateroom this Thursday from 12 to 4. All the animals can be adopted. Cayo has a Dairy Queen tip night tomorrow evening, and on Wednesday we will be having our second All Greek event of the year, and we will be playing Capture the Flag.
Thank you. UPC.
So our Hobo Week events went really well. Attendance was higher than we expected for all of them, which was awesome. Last week we had our Pause to De-Stress event, so we brought in some therapy dogs in the union, and that went over really, really well with the students. So anytime you can bring in dogs is a good event. This Thursday from 6 to 9 p.m. we have our Night at the Museum event. We're going to be showing the movie Night at the Museum at the Children's Museum. So people can come and hang out and play in the museum, and we also have the cafe there open for late night snacks. The first 100 students that come, it is free for them. After that, it's a $5 entry fee. And then this Saturday from 3 to 6 p.m. we have ice cream, food, games, including a cornhole tournament for our student tailgate for the SDSU versus USD game. End of report.
Thank you. Move on. Are there any ex officio reports I missed? All right, we'll move on to advisor reports. Dr. Schmidt.
No report.
Thank you. Go to committee reports. Are there any committees that would like to report out tonight? Senator Gibney.
Yes, the Academic Affairs Committee convened. There were some formalities with class name updating, they called the course number, course name, 3 letters before the numbers. There was just a few of them that were outdated, that weren't exactly what was being taught, so just a few formalities with that. Every curriculum request that was brought forward was passed, some for the agricultural departments, some for the nursing departments. And then they ensured that all of the labs are now Board of Regents policy adherent, so labs cannot be 0 credit. All labs have to be at least worth 1 credit, so they did all of that. It's 2 hours worth of rules, so. Report.
Thank you. Other committees I'd like to report out tonight. Senator Sternhagen.
Okay, buckle up. The parking committee.
Okay. The parking committee met last Thursday for about 90 minutes. We had a couple major topics on the agenda. The first topic was, we've had it was a very strange situation, but there was a parking appeal that came up over the summer, and we don't really have a policy on how to handle appeals that come up over the summer. Additionally, in the process of trying to hear that appeal, we kept having absences, so people that didn't show up to the appeal meeting, which meant that we didn't meet quorum on several occasions. So, yeah, Senator Brink can attest to that. So we spent some time discussing how important attending committees was. Fortunately, all of our senators made it to the committees. It was staff that didn't show up. Additionally, and this was the real meat of the meeting, we had a very long discussion about some of the parking misinformation that's been going on around campus. Several staff from parking services said that this year has been one of the worst years they've seen with parking misinformation. One major concern was there was an article that went up in the Collegian that claimed, among many things, that fine escalations were not being enforced. This is not true. They are being enforced. And parking services have said that there are students that have gone to their office confused when their fines kept going up. And it's been causing a lot of chaos and headaches throughout the parking committee and parking services. Parking services has recognized that communication could be better. So one of the things that they are going to be launching soon is a semesterly parking memo to all students and staff going over various parking regulations that are important for that given season, as well as communicating some of the different rules that take place when we transfer from fall to winter and then eventually to spring. So going forward, we are going to be working pretty hard to improve communication around campus, around parking. End of report.
Thank you, Senator Sternhagen. And thank you, senators, for not being the ones who didn't show up. I really appreciate that. Any other committees I would like to report out tonight? Senator Barnett.
Library committee met and we discussed many things. Well, first we filled our committee, so that was super exciting. We got to meet people. But we spent the majority of our meeting focusing on what it means to be an R1 university. SCSU is currently working to reach this goal. There's two kind of main facets that go with it. So it's research expenditures. You have to spend a certain amount of money. Currently, we exceed that, so that's very exciting. The second component is the number of PhD graduates. We're currently lacking in that. So with gaining more PhDs also increases research expenditures, so that's a good correlation to see. We kind of just discussed the web that this is. It's a lot deeper than kind of we've been informed of. So we're really working on that and approaching, just learning more about grants and everything that goes into that. And then kind of on the library side of that, we talked about how the library is working on, granting publication access to grad students. And then another thing we kind of discussed is 24-hour access to the library. At this time, it's being rejected and has been in the past by the president and provost due to health concerns. So, end report.
Other committees I would like to report out tonight. Senator Pulse.
UFSAC committee met, and at this meeting, we elected a chair, I believe. I had to leave early, so I'm not like, I believe it was Olivia with Jack's Cupboard was elected as the chair. And I believe she will do great in this position. And then things we discussed. So this Thursday, October 24th, there is going to be a Vikings game, and in Larson's, starting at 7:30, there's going to be like a flex entry into Larson's, and there's going to be served bar food like wings and stuff during that game, and you can watch it. And there will be regular supper served until 7 at Larson's, and then. Another thing we talked about was they are planning on putting on a free meal for veterans during Veterans Week. And then they will also have the missing man table set up during the entirety of the week. And then we also talked about portion size at Larson's. There have been a lot of complaints that people are getting way too small portions. And we've been told that that is something that they tell the Larson's workers that they can only serve so much of like the meats and like stuff that is expensive, But like with stuff that's not expensive, they can kind of do whatever they want. But there's a lot of confusion with the workers apparently, but it's being looked into. Another thing, it was brought up to my attention that it was hard to find NA beer at the football game. And I've been told that it is located at only the main beer stands. There are apparently two, one on either side of the stadium, and that is where you can find it, but they're not at the self-serve kiosk. And then the last thing that I have is the ice cream machine in Larson's was broke, but it is actually fixed now. And they said that they're having a lot of trouble with parts and stuff, but they're getting a brand new one for the new Larson's renovation. And end of report.
Thank you. Any other committees I would like to report out tonight? Senator Garcia.
Yeah, this morning, the Access, Opportunity, and Belonging Committee met, and we went over the 2024 climate survey. It was the 5th time SDSU did this since 2017. And so anyone unfamiliar with that, with the survey, it measured the employee and students' perceptions of the intuition and opportunities within the campus environment. We did see a low response rate of only 6%, and it was sent out to 9,542 students. So we would like to see that go up in the near future. That was it.
Thank you. Other committees I would like to report out tonight? Not missing anyone, right? All right, with that, are there any questions for any of the reports tonight? Senator Spear.
I'm sorry, this is super quick. I believe it was the Academic Affairs Committee. When is that zero credit thingy going into effect?
They approved it at the last meeting, so I would assume as soon as possible.
Okay.
I don't know how quickly their paperwork process goes, but the committee voted yes last week, or 2 weeks ago, so it's for a reason policy, so the university was in violation of policy, so it was a makeup essentially, so next semester, I guess, would be the correct answer to that question.
Thank you. Good question. Any other questions for any of the reports tonight? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to unfinished business, beginning with item A, Resolution 24-5-R. Chief of Staff Sabo, would you please introduce this item?
Resolution 24-5-R. Title of resolution reads, SDSU Students Association advocates for enhanced campus safety and security. Prime sponsors include Senators Shell and Dooley. Sponsors include Chief of Staff Sabo, Finance Chair Peterson, Communications Chair Fink, Diversity Liaison Garcia. Oh, well, I guess that's maybe a little early, sorry. Senator Garcia. Senators Sternhagen, Tennant, Schmeck, Pulse, Comfort, Vasquez, Spear, and Peterson.
Would anyone request that this item be read in full? Seeing none, can I entertain a motion to approve? Senator Shell.
So moved.
Second.
Senator Shell, first right to debate.
First off, thank you for everybody who read this extensive resolution. But yeah, as it really entails some of the physical things for safety and security around campus, kind of, beginning with a lot of different things, but some big points were that Jackrabbit Avenue, we all know it's, when we're driving at night, it's very hard to see anybody crossing, and it's right next to the Big East lot. There's a lot of people crossing at all times of the day, so moving forward, looking at that is a priority. And then the Big East lot itself, there's a lot of safety concerns there. As we're working with the UPD officer, who by the way is awesome, Travis Turway, if you see him, say hi. He spoke a lot about being unable to really know what's going on in that Big East lot because there's really hardly no cameras at all, and for having such a big area like that, can be a lot of dangerous points. And then working across campus, looking at Madera Avenue, there's a lot of kind of hidden blind spots as you drive down that area, and it's another big crossing point for a lot of people in the campus. And then as Chief of Staff Sabo talked about earlier, those blue call boxes, UPD would love to see some cameras on those as well, because they can only talk to whoever they're talking to. They can't really see the whole situation, so they're driving in blind. And if they can't really communicate well with the person, they don't know what to really respond to. So if you're in support of this bill, please be in support of what Chief of Staff Sabo works with on UPD as well. And then going across physical boundaries into the mental health side, currently the university uses telehealth to respond really efficiently to mental health problems. And so those have been deemed taken away due to kind of cost effectiveness of it, or like the cost of it. There's just not enough funds to go towards that direction, which I believe we should support, that we continue to fund those areas and that the resolution states as well. So I hope you all vote to support this amendment, and we can continue from there.
Any further discussion on this resolution? Vice President Benz.
Question for Mr. Shell, would that, telehealth, is that the Avel e-care service that was taken away?
Not taken away, but they're looking at discontinuing because it's so expensive.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Senator Brink?
What else exists in terms of like remote resources for mental health without that? Anything? Does anyone know?
Yes, Senator Dooley.
So I'm not so sure about that, but the specific thing that we're talking about is when we have students specifically on campus who might be having a mental health crisis, they use this service instead of having to like call a counselor to get out of bed in the middle of the night. They're able to use this service because police officers aren't always allowed to respond to certain situations, and they found it to be really helpful and just like timely and things like that. So I'm not sure about mental health in general virtually, but that's kind of where we're talking about this specific situation.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't we just hear about this and it like they were adding it like a year ago?
Yeah, they did come to speak to our Senate about this when it was added a year or two, I think it was 2 ago, because Dr. Wormerdahl was still here. Yeah, so that is something recent in the past couple of years. Otherwise, for telehealth, we do have like virtual counseling services available, if that's what you're referring to, but that's separate. But yeah, no, that's good information. Thank you, Senator Dooley. Other discussion on this amendment? All right, seeing none, we'll take this to a roll call vote. Chief of Staff Sabo, would you please call the roll?
Thank you for not making me read that, Matthew. Senators Barnett.
Aye.
Brink.
Aye.
Daggett.
Aye.
Duracomport. Abstains. Dooley.
Aye.
Garcia.
Aye.
Gibney.
Aye.
Hofer.
Roxy, aye.
Jensen.
Aye.
Campson.
Aye.
Peterson. Pulse. Robbins. Shell.
Aye.
Schmeck.
Aye.
Sierra.
Aye.
Spear.
Aye.
Sternhagen.
Aye.
Tennant.
Aye.
Vasquez.
Aye.
Wessler.
Aye.
Wisser.
Aye.
Communications Chair Fink.
Aye.
Finance Chair Peterson.
Aye.
Government Affairs Chair Kennedy.
Aye.
Chief of Staff Sabo, aye. Vice President Benz.
Aye.
The ayes have it, and Resolution 24-5-R is approved. Moving on to unfinished business, item B, Resolution 24-6-R. Chief of Staff Sabo, would you please introduce this item?
Resolution 24-6-R. Title of resolution reads, SDSU Students Association opposes initiated measure 28. Prime sponsor includes Government Affairs Chair Kennedy. Sponsors include President Peterson, Vice President Bentz, Chief of Staff Sabo, Finance Chair Peterson, Communications Chair Fink, Senator Garcia, Senators Wessler, Jensen, Gibney, Robbins, Peterson, Schmeck, Spear, Pulse, Shell, Tennant, Vasquez, and Sternhagen.
Would anyone request that this item be read in full? Has been requested.
Resolution 24-6-R. Title of resolution reads, SDSU Students Association opposes initiated measure 28. Whereas, registered voters in South Dakota will encounter initiated measure 28 on the ballot this upcoming election, and whereas the state of South Dakota currently has a 4.2% tax that is applied to the gross sales or transactions, including selling, renting, or leasing products or services, including products delivered electronically, into South Dakota, and whereas initiated measure 28 prohibits the collection of sales tax on items sold for human consumption, and whereas human consumption is not defined in South Dakota codified law, and whereas, according to Attorney General Marty Jackley, the term human consumption often includes more than food and drinks, and whereas some go as far as including products such as health and beauty items, as well as paper and cleaning products, and whereas this measure does not specifically prohibit collecting sales tax on items such as alcohol and prepared food, and whereas according to the South Dakota Legislature Joint Committee on Appropriations, if initiated measure 28 is passed, the estimated loss in revenue is expected to be between $133.6 and $646.2 million, and whereas if initiated measure 28 is passed, the state of South Dakota will see severe budget cuts across systems throughout the state, And whereas a public institution in South Dakota, SDSU relies on funding from the state legislature in order to keep students' tuitions low. And whereas during the 2024 legislative session, $5.7 million was allocated to the Regental system to keep tuition flat. And whereas this was the 5th consecutive year that students across the South Dakota Regental system had not seen a rise in tuition rates. And whereas if Initiated Measure 28 is passed, institutions across the South Dakota Regental system will likely see raised costs in tuition for the next academic year. And whereas keeping tuition low is of the utmost importance to students of SDSU. And whereas as representatives of the students, it is in the Students Association Senate's responsibility to advocate on behalf of SDSU students. Therefore, be it resolved, the SDSU Students Association opposes Initiated Measure 28.
Can I entertain a motion to approve this item? Government Affairs Chair Kennedy. Government Affairs Chair Kennedy, first right to debate.
Yes, thanks Ms. Sabo for reading that out loud. This is a really important thing for you guys all to understand what is truly happening. As representatives of SDSU, it's in the students' best interest to keep tuition low. And like Kelsey talked about tonight, if this is passed at the state level, we'll likely see a very high raise in tuition for the next year. And I think we all like our tuition being as low as it possibly can be. And so I would encourage you all vote yes on this tonight and vote no on the initiated measure on November 5th.
Is there further discussion on this resolution? Right. Seeing none, we will take this to a roll call vote. Chief of Staff Sabo, would you please call the roll?
Senators Barnett, Brink, Daggett,
Aye.
Derek Comfort abstains, Dooley, Garcia,
Aye.
Gibney,
Aye.
Hofer abstains, Jensen, Campson, Peterson, Pulse, Robbins, Shell, Schmeck, Sierra, Spear, Sternhagen, Tennant, Vasquez, Wessler, Wisser, Communications Chair Fink, Finance Chair Peterson, Government Affairs Chair Kennedy, Chief of Staff Sabo, aye. Vice President Benz.
Aye.
The ayes have it, and Resolution 24-6-R is approved. Moving on to new business, item A, Resolution 24-7-R. Chief of Staff Sabo, would you please introduce this item?
Resolution 24-7-R. Title of resolution reads, the SDSU Students Association seeks to inform students about the current state of parking on the Brookings campus of South Dakota State University. Prime sponsors include Senators Hofer and Peterson. Sponsors include Finance Chair Peterson, Government Affairs Chair Kennedy, Communications Chair Fink, Senators Garcia, Robbins, Brink, Sternhagen, Spear, Tennant, Jensen, Pulse, Gibney, Schmeck, Shell, Vasquez, and Sierra.
Would anyone request that this item be read in full? Seeing none, this will be voted on at our next meeting. We'll move on to new business, item B, the special allocation request for the Institute of Electronics and Electrical Engineers. Can I entertain a motion to approve this item? Senator Sierra. Senator Sierra, first right to debate.
Yeah, so we met with 2 weeks ago, the IEEE Club, and we heard the request. They were originally asking for $1,000 for their trip to Minnesota for some business tours. Really, they said all they needed money for was hotels, and so they have 15 people going. And at our with our math per the budgeting philosophy, we allocated them $750. As a committee, so.
Thank you. Any further discussion on this special allocation request? Senator Shell.
Yeah, I would just love to point out as well that this trip was really monumental for them because many of the places they go around here in South Dakota is for power specific, and this was an outlet for them to look elsewhere outside of power for their engineering services. So I know this was a really fun trip for them to broaden their horizons. I have a roommate who went on this trip, and so he came back much more enlightened as well. So definitely would support this allocation towards them.
Any further discussion on this special allocation request? All right. Seeing none, we will take this to a roll call vote. Chief of Staff Sabo, would you please call the roll?
Senators Barnett, Brink, Daggett, Derek Comfort abstains, Dooley, Garcia, Gibney, Hofer abstains, Jensen, Campson, Peterson, Pulse, Robbins, Shell, Schmeck, Sierra, Spear, Sternhagen.
Aye.
Tennant.
Aye.
Vasquez. Westler. Wisser.
Aye.
Communications Chair Fink.
Aye.
Finance Chair Peterson.
Aye.
Government Affairs Chair Kennedy. Chief of Staff Sabo, aye. Vice President Benz.
Aye.
The ayes have it, and the IEEE special allocation request is approved. All right, moving on to our final item of new business, item C, we have approval and swearing in of the diversity liaison. So Oscar, if you want to come up here. So if you all read your email, which I'm sure all of you do religiously because I send you absolutely none ever. But we have been searching for a diversity chair for the past few months and have had zero luck. So we had a conversation with Oscar, who is chairing our diversity and inclusion committee and already has a very big presence in a variety of international or diverse clubs on campus, president of LASA, and he's in the Office of Multicultural Affairs all the time, and TRIO and all of that. And we thought this position would be a really good fit for him. It's very similar to the role of diversity chair, except with, I would say, less responsibilities, a little bit less on his plate so that he can handle it. It does not come with a paycheck, unfortunately, but other than that, he will be a member of our executive team. So we're just really excited to see him fill this role. And yeah, so we do need a motion to approve this. Senator Day-Gett.
Second.
All right, Senator Day-Gett, first right to debate.
So if you didn't know, myself and Senator Wisser previously held the diversity chair positions too in the last few terms, and I'd love to say that there's no one more qualified than Senator Garcia. He has done a lot, not only for SA, but also for OMA, and he has had a lot of good presence. And when I did talk to Mr. J and Marge from OMA, they said that there is no one more fit for the role, especially because Oscar is always there. Yeah.
Further discussion on this motion? All right, seeing none, we'll just take this to a voice vote. All those in favor of appointing Senator Garcia as our diversity liaison, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion passes. We'll invite you up to take your oath of office as diversity liaison. Okay, we'll let him say a few words.
Yeah, I would just like to say, I know, for some of y'all, it might look like this is a step backwards for that diversity chair position, but I can promise you that it will be just as effective as the chair position. Yes.
Let you have this. You can raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Oscar Garcia,
Solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the SDSU Students Association,
solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the SDSU Student Association,
support and proudly represent the students of SDSU,
support and proudly represent the students of SDSU,
and promote the purposes and educational objectives of SDSU,
and promote the purposes and educational objectives of SDSU,
and to faithfully discharge the duties of my elected position to the best of my ability.
to faithfully discharge the duties of my elected position to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. Thank you all so much. We're very excited to have that position filled. And Hayden is no longer the only male on our executive team, so. All right, we'll move on to topics for future discussion. Are there any topics for future discussion tonight? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to announcements. Are there any announcements tonight? Chief of Staff Sabo.
Be on the lookout for a video on our socials about the initiated Measure 28. Now that we've officially, as a Senate, opposed it, I will be posting that hopefully tomorrow morning before I post our meeting recap. So if you feel comfortable sharing that on your socials, I think it's really important that we use our voices to educate students, because at face value probably seems really nice to have a tax cut and not have to pay taxes on these things. But I think it's important that we educate other students to let them know the real implications of this bill. So,
Thank you. Other announcements? Finance Chair Peterson.
Just a reminder that the Finance Committee will be meeting this Wednesday at 7 p.m. So please be there.
Other announcements? Diversity Liaison Garcia.
Just another reminder, the Diversity and Inclusion Committee will meet this Friday, October 25th at 2 in the SA conference room.
Thank you. Other announcements? All right, I have a couple myself. Next week is Halloween, so our dress code for the Senate meeting will be Halloween costumes. I expect you all to try your very hardest at the you're not in Halloween costume, you have to wear business professional, so don't be lame. Another announcement, today I sent out a doodle poll to the board of directors because we need to have a meeting to look at some ex officio suspensions, so please respond to that. We will take a full Senate photo after this meeting, so we will pop out real quick, get a picture so we can update our website. And then finally, our Senator Daggett passed her U.S. citizenship test, so she is now Senator Markley. We're very proud of her. So she will be getting a new name tag. All right, any other announcements? With that, can I entertain a motion to adjourn? Senator Markley. Is there a second? Second. All those in favor of adjourning, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? We are adjourned.